Most of us don't do death very well. We're rarely taught or shown how to respond in most healthy ways. And so, we neglect our grief, we focus on distractions, we get busy. And all of those have their time and place because we can't always be raw and vulnerable. And often, with the best of intentions, we're encouraged by others to move on. But as each of you here knows all too well, we don't really move on in some sort of leaving it behind sort of way, so much as we move forward in a new, broken, sometimes shattered ways. But community rituals like this help us pick up and reassemble the pieces, creating a mosaic that is painfully and beautifully our own. So it's essential that we make time to grieve privately, but also to mourn, to grieve publicly and collectively. So I invite you now to close your eyes and take a deep breath and ground yourself in this place and in this moment. This is a safe space to feel all that may be below the surface that is welled up inside of you. Allow yourselves to lament and to cry and also to smile and to laugh. Only you know what you need, and we here together will accompany you wherever that leads. Grief is less about stages and more about waves, and here it's okay to let those waves
above, there is a flower in the sea, an apple tree, in cocoon, a hidden promise. Butterflies will soon be free. In the cold, the snow of winter, there's a spring that waits to be unrevealed until its season, something God alone can see. There's a song in every silence, seeking word and melody. There's a dawn in every darkness, bringing hope to you and me. From the past will come the future, what it holds a mystery, unrevealed until its season, something God alone can see. In our end is our beginning, in our time infinity. In our doubt there is believing, in our life eternity. In our death a resurrection, at the last a victory, unrevealed until its season, something God alone can see.
Redemption Song by Kevin Young. Finally fall, at last the mist, heats haze we both, these past weeks we pass limited. We find ourselves chill, a grisness we hug ourselves in, cross-grain the ground. Grief might be easy if there wasn't still such beauty. Would be far simpler if we silver maple its leaves into flame, trusting that spring will find it again. All this might be easier if there wasn't a song, still lifting us above it. If wind didn't trouble my mind like water, I half expect to see you, fill the autumn air like breath. At night I sleep on clenched fists. Days I'm like a child who on the playground falls, crying not so much from pain as surprise. I'm tired of tide taking you away, then back again. What's worse, the forgetting or the thing you can't forget? Neither yet, last summer's choir crickets grown quiet.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wright, and I serve as chaplain for the Medical University of South Carolina Palliative Care Program. My gratitude to Jonathan and to the Bridges team for allowing me to be here this evening. I am truly honored to be asked to share in this event, as this evening marks the 28th edition of this very special gathering and the continuation of an important tradition where those seeking comfort are drawn together to help bear the collective burdens that come with loss, grief, and bereavement. As comes with many traditions, our gathering this evening provides an opportunity to unite our focus, to brighten our vision, and bind us closer as a community. This week also brings us to another tradition that will either unite or divide, or will either bring great joy or great sorrow, depending on whose side you stand. I'm referring, of course, to rivalry week between Clemson and Carolina, where our state's largest gridiron dredging match will be carried out. If I've read the historical record correctly, this rivalry began in 1896 when Carolina defeated highly favored Phillips 12-6. So beware. But what brings us here this evening is a rivalry that extends much further back and is felt much deeper than any sporting event. The outcome of this particular rivalry carries with it significantly greater consequences than yearly bragging rights. Many of us are familiar with the ongoing rivalry between hurt and hope, between joy and grief, between forging ahead to new horizons or feeling locked in the shadows of regret and disappointment. No one ever asked us if we wanted to engage in this rivalry. We are forced participants in an emotional contest between sorrow and hopefulness. But I will submit to you that while you have little or no choice as to whether you will play in this rivalry, you have a great deal to say regarding the outcome. This Saturday, the roar of the crowd and the tally on the scoreboard will give notice as to how the game is going for either side. But there are also indicators as we navigate the journey of grief that allow us to gauge how we're doing in the aftermath of loss. For example, you might say that you're winning in your rivalry when old traditions you are used to enjoying continue to bring renewed meaning, or new traditions you begin to discover add to your resiliency or the ability to bounce back after a setback. We are entering into a season where many holiday traditions are celebrated. My hope is that these traditions will bring about hope, connection, and rejuvenation. For some, these traditions will also bring painful reminders of the losses that have been experienced. But I also hope we will be reminded of what we cannot lose in terms of wonderful legacies that we have been allowed to cherish. Another way you know you're winning in your rivalry is when you realize you're not in the game alone. Teammates on the field or fans in the stands offer encouragement when the game's outcome is yet to be determined. The fact that so many from across our community would gather this evening points to the fact that we understand how important connection is. I encourage you to hold on to supportive relationships that will help sustain you, or cultivate new relationships that will begin to encourage you. And then finally, I would say to you that you know you're winning your rivalry when the pain doesn't feel as bad. It's amazing how much pain a football player can endure if they can see hope on the scoreboard. We often hear about athletes who play through their injuries. Besides the glamour of the game or being provided a paycheck, one of the motivating factors that keeps players on the field is knowing that each additional point they register reveals that their suffering is not in vain. The pain of loss will hurt, but each time you honor the memory of a loved one by carrying out an important legacy they helped instill, you score another point. The pain of grief may sometimes seem overwhelming, but each time you welcome a new day with renewed meaning and purpose, you score another point. The pain of bereavement hurts, but each time you allow your hurt to help move you towards someone else who is hurting and offer them the same comfort you yourself have received, you score another point. There is no escaping this intense rivalry of life. But this setting tonight, as it has done for the past 28 years, reminds us that the rivalry between light, the light of hope, and the darkness of despair will eventually be won by the light. For as the ancient and sacred writer tells us, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. May these words be made manifest as we walk in the light of faith, hope, and love in our own lives. Thank you.
As we each light our candle, as we bask in the glow of the collective light, we remember the individual lives of those who touched us deeply. We are reminded that their flames still burn as light in each of us, and we acknowledge the loss of the others gathered here and offer our presence as comfort. We mourn together as a community as we journey toward healing.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. For as long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us. We remember them. At the rising sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us. We remember them.
Shall we gather at the river where bright angels he has brought, with its crystal tides forever that flows by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather at the river, beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with these saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. There we reach the shining river, lay we every burden down. Praise our spirits will deliver and provide our robe and crown. Yes, we'll gather at the river, beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river, Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of Bridges for End of Life, we want to thank you all for coming and sharing. Please feel free to remain with your luminaries, the refreshment table, and the resource table, as Jonathan mentioned, are still open. Thank you all, and safe travels.
Just like that. My mother from Dawn to John. How are you?
What she's like, yeah, because I'm not going to do it. But I think they're going to see bags and things. I'm like, oh, that whole thing. She, I called her on email, said it was here. So she never has written